Oh boy, a brand new Dream Theater album. I'm so excited. I'm so pumped. I'm so fuck. I can't lie to y'all. Let's just get this fucking over with. Alright, so let's just rip off a few band-aids before we go any further. I am not what you would call a fan of Dream Theater. I respect and appreciate everything they've done for progressive rock, for progressive metal, and for the broader spectrums of heavy and popular music. And I think that all of the individual members are themselves incredibly, almost inarguably, very talented. Like, I am not going to sit here for even a moment and pretend that I have even a fraction of the skill commonly and frequently on display in any one Dream Theater track. But despite all of that, I have continuously failed time and time again, despite honestly my best efforts, to really understand and enjoy this band. I, for lack of a better term, just don't fucking get it. The 2010s in particular have been especially rough for Dream Theater in my opinion, as the band have consistently offered some incredibly lackluster, underwhelming cookie-cutter material. 2016's The Astonishing in particular stands out as being perhaps one of the worst in Dream Theater's entire discography, and perhaps one of the worst prog metal albums in recent memory, to the point where I have personally had a lot of trouble finding somebody that would actively defend this and would claim that they genuinely enjoy this album. But contrary to popular belief, I'm not the type of guy who's just going to write off an album as being terrible without having heard it. I consider myself a pretty fair and honest and reasonable guy. I am not going to say that something is terrible unless I truly believe from the bottom of my heart that it is terrible. And as such, I did not feel it was right to simply skip this album, especially not when, regardless of how I feel about Dream Theater, they are still very much the poster boys, the flag bearers for the entire progressive metal genre. So with all this in mind, I said, you know what, fuck it, maybe this is the one. Maybe this is the moment where everything finally makes sense. Maybe this is the moment on album number 15 where the stars align and the gears fall into place and I am finally converted into, at the very least, a casual Dream Theater fan. And, yeah. That did not happen. This album is just so bland, so formulaic, so repetitive. It is a vanilla-flavored communion wafer. It is a lukewarm glass of tap water. It is mayonnaise on Dempster's white bread. It's missionary sex with your Christian girlfriend. It's fine. It's competent, but it's not memorable. It's not sustaining. It's not fulfilling. I'm still hungry. I want more. Where's the flavor? God damn it. Where's the spice? Where's the excitement? Where's the twist? Where's the fun shit? What's going on? Am I going crazy? Maybe a little bit. I should calm down a little bit. It's just 70 minutes of the most tired and obvious prog rock and prog metal cliches and stereotypes, rinsed and recycled over and over and over and over again. It's the same nonsensical, introspective lyrics that feel like they've been ripped from a Hallmark card or a grade 4 poetry assignment. It's the same artsy-fartsy guitar solos where it's just like, look at me, I can play really fast. Does it mean anything? Am I showing any emotion? No. But woo! It's like a fireworks display. Yeah! James LaBrie himself sounds fine, I guess. I mean, he doesn't sound terrible, but he does sound kind of robotic, kind of tired, kind of sleepy, almost like he doesn't really want to be there. It doesn't really help that because he's not singing about anything specific, it's really hard to connect with him on any level whatsoever. Lyrically and vocally, I would say that James is at his absolute worst on the opening cut, The Alien. Lyrically, there is an actual intent to create a story, kind of, sort of, maybe, but it's all very poorly constructed and delivered. There's no real detail going into anything. It's still a lot of vague nonsense and buffoonery that I'm sure prog metal nerds will think is so abstract and profound. Wow, so deep, so much meaning. But in reality, he's saying nothing. I mean, look at this opening section. Look beyond the earth, heading for the stars. Interplanetary summer near, summer far. That's right, James. Thank you for that middle school astrology project. Thank you. And his enthusiasm, his vigor, his energy, or shall we say the utter lack of it, certainly does not help. They should rename this track The Heartless Fucking Machine, because that's what he sounds like on here. Everything is just so stale and robotic and monotonous. I would tell a joke at this point in the review and say that James must have phoned in this performance, but here's the thing. He actually literally did phone it in on this album, because thanks to this fun little thing called COVID-19, he was separated from the rest of Dream Theater during the writing and recording process of this record. And therefore, his contributions just kind of exist in this whole other little universe that has been very crudely stapled onto this one. Believe it or not, though, there is an upside to how Dream Theater recorded this album. Because James was not immediately available to write and record so much of this material, the rest of Dream Theater was free to construct songs at their own pace. As such, while nothing is especially fresh or original in my opinion, the album does certainly feel more fluid and cohesive and consistent than most of what Dream Theater has put out over the course of the past decade. I'll even go as far as to concede that John Petrucci manages some pretty gnarly riffs and solos across this entire thing. I am not a fan of his particular style of artsy prog metal guitar noodling, but credit where it's due, the motherfucker can play, and some of his best licks in a while are on this album. Unfortunately, the squeaky clean, polished sound mix and production does prevent him and other members of Dream Theater from being as powerful as they probably should be on this album. I think something a little bit more beefy, a little bit more muscular, a little bit more typically metal, shall we say, would do the band a world of wonders at this point. But I won't dredge on that too much, seeing as how it will very likely never happen. Even if I were prolific and talented enough to actually give these guys advice, I doubt they would take it. They are a 30-year-old prog metal band with a very well-established sound and identity. I don't see why at this point they would stray from it. Nonetheless, I will offer one more piece of advice, not just to Dream Theater, but to every prog metal band on the planet. Please stop making songs longer than they need to be. The closing track, View from the Top of the World, does not need to be 20 minutes. Fucking period. It is long, it is bloated, it is pretentious, and it does not need to be 20 minutes long. Every prog metal band in the world needs to hear this right now. Just because you make a song long doesn't mean it's automatically good. I am well aware I am probably going to be in the minority on this. I do not care. I'm giving this album a 1.5 out of 5. Y'all Dream Theater fans can get as mad as you fucking want. I do not care. I have tried time and time again to understand what makes this band so important and so powerful, and I just don't fucking get it. Over the course of 70 minutes, Dream Theater does nothing other than convince me once and for all that they are truly the most overrated band on the planet. If you're just looking for a bunch of guitar solos and keyboard solos and a bunch of lyrics about the cosmos and the multiverse, I look inside myself, then good for you. You'll love this album. Great, fantastic. I'm so fucking happy for you, but I also kinda don't care. 1.5 out of 5. Ugh. That's it. And booyah, that's it. Feel free to get as mad as you want. I don't fucking care. I'm gonna make a drinking game out of it. Thank you for watching. Even if you did get angry, I guess, press this button right here to subscribe so you get updates and stuff like that. Yeah. I'm gonna go listen to something far more interesting. Cheers.